Mga makabagong bayani, yan ang tawag sa overseas Filipino workers. Hirap, paawis, pagod at pagtitiis na mawalay sa mga kaanak ang kanilang iniinda para lang makapagpadala ng pera sa naiwang pamilya rito sa Pilipinas. Ayon sa Philippine Statistics Authority, tinatayang mahigit 2.4 million ang bilang ng mga OFW. At batay naman sa pag-aaral ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, 82% o 8 sa bawat 10 OFW na regular na nagpapadala ng pera ay inilalaan ito para sa grocery, tuition fee at pambayad sa kuryente at tubig. Ngayong umaga, pag-uusapan natin ang ilang tips para matiyak na ang bawat 5 ipinapadala ng inyong mahal sa buhay ay nagagasta ng maayos at kung paano sa kabila ng pagiging malayo ay napapanatili pa ring matatag ang relasyon ng pamilya ng OFW. Okay, ipinakikilala na namin sa inyo ang ating mga panauhin mula sa Beam & Go, si Mr. Albert Christian Go, Senior Vice President at Vanessa Cartera, Director of Merchants. Welcome po sa Servicio All Access.
Good morning.
Good morning, Amy. Maraming salamat sa pag-invite sa amin dito sa Servicio All Access.
Yes, kasi ang usapin naman ng tamang paglaan ng pera ay hindi lamang para sa OFW or mga pamilya nito, para sa ating lahat naman ito, ano? Yung parang, I'm pretty sure may mga iba't ibang paraan para masigurado mong tama yung tamang accounting mo, paglaan mo ng pera. But before that, yan ba ang Beam & Go? What is Beam & Go?
Nako, ang Beam & Go nagsimula noong taong 2014 ng grupo ng mga OFWs. At lahat po kami ay nagtatrabaho sa ibayong dagat, sa Canada, sa Singapore. At doon po namin nakita na ang Beam & Go at ang Pilipinas po, nagsimula ang Beam & Go dahil po nakita po namin ang behavior ng mga OFWs na buwan-buwan nagpapadala sa kanilang mga kapamilya sa Pilipinas. At doon po, meron pong gap. Ang gap po ay lahat po ng mga OFWs, ang motivation natin ay tulungan ng ating family members. Ngunit sa pagpapadala, minsan po ay napupunta sa hindi wastong paraan. Doon po ang motivation, kaya namin sinimulan ang Beam & Go. At ang Beam & Go po, nagsimula po kami ng isang teknolohiya na gift certificate at ito po ay paraan para ang pinapadala at ang ipon ng OFW ay mapupunta sa pangunahing pangangailangan.
So dahil kayo, I understand, like Vanessa, yung tatay mo ay was or still is an OFW? Was an OFW. Yes. So kayo yung pinapadalhan niya for the longest time. At ikaw naman, Albert, you were an OFW for 5 years. So nakita nyo itong mga hamon siguro. I mean, you know, what you have experienced being in that situation.
Yes.
So, okay, so you're providing a tool para maging mas madali para sa OFW. Let's start first with how difficult is it to be an OFW? You mentioned na yung mga hamon or mga trials.
I think as an OFW, the first thing is adjusting to a new culture and environment. Napakahirap po na ang pagpunta namin doon is motivation is really the high income differential. So a lot of the OFWs, they aspire to work overseas is because of their talents and expertise. They will be earning 5 to 10 times more when they work in another country. Regardless of the position, whether it's nursing, like skilled profession, pwede ring professionals that work in banking, marami pong ganun sa Singapore. Pagdating po dun sa halimbawa sa Singapore, doon na po lumalabas ang issues. Number one is separation anxiety. This is something that many Filipinos face overseas, and yet the family members or at least the society may not know the deep issues that we have to deal with. So while we earn more overseas, now we have to deal with the distance, we have to deal with the separation from a family member, at yun po ay napakahirap. Ako po, pinagdaanan ko yun ng first 2 years ko sa Singapore. Lagi pong pumapasok sa utak ko, tama po ba ang desisyon ko na nagtrabaho dito? Dahil everyday malungkot ako. Everyday, pag may problema sa pamilya, wala po akong paraan na basta-basta lang tawagan sila. Mahirap po.
Did you send money here in the Philippines as well?
Yes, nagpapadala. Kahit maliit na amount, I have to say yung family members ko, they're from middle class na kumikita naman sila ng tama, okay yung kinikita nila. Pero as one of the reasons why I work overseas is also to show them that I want to provide and help for my family members. Sa akin, kahit sa maliit na paraan na amount, pinagpapadala po ako sa pang-grocery nila.
So, si Vanessa naman, recipient naman nung pinapadala ng father mo from abroad.
Yes, oo. So, before kasi hindi mo naiintindihan talaga what they're going through. Like what Albert said, akala namin, ay, nasa abroad yung dad ko. Like, dami kaming pera.
Dollars, di ba?
Dollars, di ba? Naalala ko, binibenta ko yung grades ko sa dad ko. Parang every time I get a 90, daddy, that's like 100 pesos. Or parang ina-equate mo lahat ng achievements mo sa life doon sa makukuha mo from your dad. But you don't really understand kung ano yung hirap na they are going through. Sometimes I don't even get to talk to my dad 2 months. Kasi sa barko yung dad ko eh. Kung nasa gitna sila ng tubig. Dati, imagine, there's no email, there's no internet, and he can only talk to his family pag
Phone.
Oo, by phone if nasa land sila, or they have to pay for like a big price kasi they have to use a satellite eh. So mahirap. Hindi na snail mail, ilang buwan pa yan bago dumating pag pinadala ng dad ko sa amin.
Although ngayon, marami ng mga teknolohiya,
Yes.
di ba? Marami ng opportunities
Yes.
to
Yes.
interact. But I've seen, I've heard of stories na yung the challenges nga of being separated from your family is that sometimes yung kapag nagpadala nga ng pera, hindi mo alam kung talagang doon ba na ilalaan. I mean, may mga kwento na kung, I don't know how true it is, based on yung mga napag-usapan or people you've met, na tipong alam nila nagpadala sila ng pera only to find out, let's say sabi nagpapadala sila ng pera para panggawa ng bahay. Only to find out when they go home, wala naman palang ginawa sa bahay. Something like that.
Okay. To share with you, we've met one lady in May in Hong Kong, and she said she's been in Hong Kong for 2 years already. Every month, she sends money, thinking na napupunta doon sa ginagawang bahay. After 2 years, she came home, wala pa ring bahay. So, that's also the problem, no? Isa sa mga problema na our OFWs go through. They are really not empowered kung saan napupunta yung pera nila. They cannot decide. Pag humingi, sila naman kasi, they will always give kung ano yung binibigay ng family because they feel like yun lang yung makakapag-compensate for their absence. So they send money and they don't know where it goes. Pwede naman humingi yung anak or yung asawa ng kailangan ko ng money for groceries, pero hindi pala napupunta doon. Napupunta yung iba sa chicks. Yeah, I'm sorry for saying that, but it's really true. Yung iba napupunta sa alcohol,
Yes.
gambling, and yung iba, they don't even know where the money goes. Nawawala na lang monthly. So,
Just to add dun sa Beam and Go, the function of Beam and Go is really to empower the sender. And by empowering the sender, we're using technology to make it easy for them to know where the money will be spent. An example would be sa groceries po, Miss Ameline. Sa groceries na partner namin, pinagbabawalan po ang pagbili ng alak, ng yosi or tobacco in the way because of that function that we're using in Beam and Go. Another thing that I would want to share dun sa gap no na nangyayari is that we're also doing a lot of financial literacy workshops in pagsulong po ng advocacy namin, which is helping both the sender and the recipient. We've done financial literacy talks sa Bicol region, sa Iriga City, and we've talked to the mayor, si Mayor Ganggang noon, na sinabi sa amin na, Albert, the reason why we're working with you because you have this technology that helps our residents and constituency. And he said it himself na you're a startup, but we believe in you because there's hope by using this technology.
Yeah, and more than anything, I think yung financial literacy kasi talaga, magandang ituro yun eh. Not only for OFWs, right? So,
families
paano
here.
nyo sinasabi? Ano ang una nyong sinasabi para matulungan? I'm pretty sure kasi kung ano yung tinuturo nyo sa OFWs,
Yun din
ay
nandito.
magagamit din natin sa lahat, ng lahat.
I think sa recipients, we always say that always try to understand. Put yourselves in the shoes of your mother or father who is working in Hong Kong, Singapore, or even pag seaman ka. Titingnan ninyo, what is the big picture? Bakit sila nagtatrabaho doon? Most likely, it is because of education. It's education of their family members here. And because of that, kailangan nila magsimula. Paano magsisimula? At a very young age. Doon po nagsisimula. Yung family, dapat nagko-communicate ang daddy, tsaka ang anak, tsaka yung asawa. At every day, because of technology, you can use it to your advantage. Ang Skype.
So ang una ay dapat
Ang
ay
dami na
continuous yung communication as
Yes.
best as you can.
Yes.
Para siguro para ma-update mo na okay anak, ano nang ginagawa mo
Yes.
or 'di ba or something?
Well, just to add to what Albert said, we think that the family is actually more powerful than the OFW. As I mentioned earlier, yung OFW kasi will always provide to compensate for the absence. If the family is educated, if they are financially literate, if the kids know what the parent is actually doing out of the country, it would be easier for them to understand na hindi lang sila nagpapakasarap abroad.
Yeah.
Kasi yun yung akala nila eh. We've spoken to a lot of OFWs in Hong Kong and the same thing. They've said the same thing na akala ng family nila lagi lang silang pumaparty every weekend. When in fact, the reason why they are posting all these happy photos is just to tell the family, don't worry about me. But it's actually the opposite.
So ano na lang mas maganda dapat, wag na lang muna mag-post masyado ng
Siguro,
happy
yeah, or-
photos, baka isipin,
Doon pumapasok again yung communication. And to make the kids, the family understand na umalis ako para naman talaga to sa inyo. Kasi madaming nagagalit na anak na wala ka, iniwan mo ko, nasan ka ng birthday ko, ng graduation ko, lahat nila ng
Yun.
special events sa buhay nila. Pero hindi nila naiintindihan na they can't go home kasi may kontrata, di ba?
Ikaw, Vanessa, kasi your father was away for, I'm pretty sure, for months ba? Or years? Umabot ng years,
almost
right?
like 2 years.
So ano ang tamang mindset? Paano naman kayo nag-cope bilang pamilya? Paano mo naintindihan yung father mo?
Very daddy's girl kasi ako eh. So I and very positive person naman ako. And we were raised like that. We were made to understand na mahirap yung life ng dad ko. And my dad would write me letters. So I know for a fact na he's there to give me and my brother and my mom a good life. He would always tell me na hindi din naman kami nakatayo sa marble. Pero ngayon, nakatayo ka na sa marble and it's up to you to continue this because hindi naman ako forever nandyan to take care of you. So that actually inspired me. And sometimes when it's like grade 6, graduation or high school, I try my best because I know na yung dad ko, feel ko kasi uuwi siya pag may award ako. So, and it's nice. That's the only thing you can give them back eh. If they see you have a good life. Kasi ngayon, graduate ka na, nagtatrabaho ka na, hindi naman yun hihingi na, give me money, support me. When they see that you're happy and you're successful, okay na sila.
Yun na
Kasi
yung parang...
yun yung reason kung bakit siya umalis.
Kaya siya umalis para mapaganda yung education and everything. At any point ba, hindi mo naisip na parang yung iba na gastusin ko lang to. How did you ensure na hindi ka magiging ganon ang pag-iisip na parang ang feeling at that time na tuloy-tuloy naman ang pagbigay ng daddy ko ng pera, so gastusin ko na lang to because I deserve it or something like that?
Well, kami naman kasi, we were raised na paghirapan mo yan. So you only get extra cash if you study well or
Tama.
when I was young, I would remember my dad making me read the newspaper. So may prize ka pag natapos mo yung isang article kasi for a 4-year-old hindi naman lahat nagbabasa. So it's a discipline and they made us understand na kailangan mo paghirapan yan for you to be able to spend also.
So talagang continuous communication and what else pa? How do you I'm pretty sure 'di ba yung mga
Marami.
financial advisors may
Okay.
mga sinasabi sila on how you can grow your money. I mean, how do you teach
Okay.
that? Do you teach that to the OFW family or to the OFW or
What
both?
we do is we help both the OFWs and the families left behind. An example, very good example, just last week, we met this overseas Filipino worker, domestic helper in Hong Kong. The first thing that she told me, I asked her, ano pong advice ninyo sa inyong mga sa inyong mga anak or ibang OFWs? Ang unang sinabi niya is, do not lose touch sa family member and be able to communicate using modern technologies. Kahit po domestic helper doon, meron na rin silang internet. Paano sila nagko-communicate? Ganito po, nag-a-advise po sila, ang ginagawa po nila is they teach their kids, tutor, sila po tumutulong sa mga assignments. That's how they show their love to their family members, and that's how they should do it using technology. Every day po, meron kaming example si Juliet, every day tumutulong siya. Paano tulungan ng homework, paano pagtitipid, doon po niya dinidisiplina ang kanyang anak.
Teka, this is the family or
The
from OFW? So
ganun na
through
yung
the
ginagawa.
internet?
Yes, they can
Oo
easily
nga, no?
do
Yun
it
ang
now.
nakakatulong.
And dapat hindi sila matakot sa technology. And then, the family here, like Vanessa shared a lot of tips on what she did. The family here kasi, despite the distance, you need to understand na kahit wala ang nanay mo sa mga family day, mga important occasions, look at the bigger picture because at the end of the day, kayo po ay mag-grow. You will become more mature. And by becoming more mature, it helps you grow in becoming more confident and becoming more independent as a person.
What would you suggest kung for example isang OFW magpapadala siya ng pera, ipapadala ba niya na pera ay tamang-tama lang para sa gagastusin or enough para ang family dito sa Pilipinas ay kaya na niyang mag-invest on their own? Ano ang suggestion niyo usually?
I'd say the first thing is the habit of yung tamang-tama lamang because at the end of the day, they need to get by with life. The first thing is tama-tama lamang, you have to pay yourself as an OFW, make sure that you save a certain amount and be the person who's responsible for the future of yourself and your family. And the next thing is at a tender age, pag umabot na sa age ng grade school ang inyong anak, doon na magsisimula na you give sometimes a little bit more. And then the reason is for them to know how to hold, yung tamang paghawak ng pera and then nakakapag-budget na rin ang inyong anak.
And Vanessa, before we went on a break, nabanggit mo nga na may ginawa kayo para masigurado na yung kinikita ng father mo na seaman ay kumbaga magamit siya sa tamang paraan.
Okay, so, meron, if you're a seaman kasi, you always send allotment back home. So, from what I remember, when I was young, a part of his salary automatically goes to my mom. Kasi yung mom ko naman talaga yung gumagastos sa bahay for education. She knows how much we have to spend for bills at home. And we bought a land one time, before also to, just to circulate the money. So, at least meron pa rin extra money. Yung dad ko, pag uwi nga, meron ng bahay. So, I think it's a matter of like what Albert said kanina. It's really communication and just saying what you need. So, the OFW can provide. As for us, hindi kami nabuhay na, what's the term? Maluho. At home, simple food, whatever you need will be provided. Hindi naman yung tipong waldas lang ng waldas.
Nauubusin lang ng pera.
Oo, na nagmo-mall every weekend. So, very strict din naman actually yung mom ko. So, whatever you need, it will be provided as long as it's important. And then, they also invested in us. Like, my brother went to art school. I spent most of my weekends instead of hanging out with friends. I spent most of my time playing the piano, playing the organ. So they invested more on lessons which could help us grow to become like, good people talaga.
Now, Albert, anong masasabi mo doon sa, let's say, nung una, ang kinikita ay 50,000 a month. Malaking pera na yun. They were able
Yes.
to send their children to school, may pangbayad na sila sa basic necessities. Biglang naging 150 a month. For whatever reason, dahil tumaas ang sweldo na kinikita. Ano ang maipapayo mo doon sa naging, they had a good financial earnings for the year?
Yes, maganda yung, it's good that we're touching on this element. OFWs yung iba 50,000 lang kinikita. Tapos ngayon umabot ng 150,000 and because of that high income differential, that is danger zone if you don't arrest your spending habits. That issue of spending habits must be addressed before you even leave and become an OFW. So ang payo ko sa kanila is make sure that you stick to your goal. Stick to your goal. You went there overseas because you want to provide for your family members in the Philippines. And if you have done that before, now with a greater income, you need to know how to invest.
So alamin mo bago ka umalis kung magkano talaga ang gagastusin nyo sa bahay, for example, no? Para alam mo na yung monthly expenses.
Yes.
Yes. To add to what Albert said, also, a lot of majority of the OFWs who leave the country actually is to yung very purpose nila sa pag-alis ay para matulungan yung family nila, alleviate them from poverty, and 26.3 actually live under the poverty line here in the Philippines. Yung nangyayari kasi, they know before they leave, wala na silang pera. Mangungutang sila. Basement fee.
Yeah.
Syempre, yung iba mangungutang din para may maiwan sa family para first few months. Yung nangyayari, nagiging cycle siya. Pagdating nila doon, some of them, they don't have discipline. Like, first time, I'm in abroad, malayo ako sa family. Yung iba, nawawalan nga ng konsensya. Gastos, bili ng gamit. And they tend to forget yung very reason why they left. So, yung nangyayari, yung kinikita nila, nagiging enough lang para bayaran yung inutang nila before they left.
Yes.
And then they finish the contract. They come home, wala na namang pera. Mandilibre pa ng balato pa. Like, buong barangay papakainin kasi bumalik. So, may mga ganong cases talaga.
Pero nag-change na ba yung ganun na pag-iisip? Marami na ba sa ating mga OFWs ay, kumbaga, alam na nila ngayon kung ano ang mas maganda nilang gawin?
Unti-unti, we've been seeing, going back to our database, we've been seeing like really good traction din sa changes in behavior. Before, our users would actually send through Beam and Go, no? They would buy mga around 1,000 pesos lang, 1,500. But now, a big chunk of their salary, they would actually buy items in Beam and Go just to ensure na yung pinapadala nila na pupunta lang talaga sa groceries.
Yes, kasi I understand, ang ino-offer nyo is parang, it's a tool, right? Na
Yes.
parang, particularly for groceries, or ano ba?
Pharmacy.
Pharmacy,
Kasama na rin
groceries.
po
Health insurance.
health
Ay,
insurance.
yung pinaka-basic talaga na kakailanganin. Bakit groceries? Why is it bakit groceries? How did you choose the items na dapat ay, kumbaga, ma-regulate ng isang family?
Okay, just to add, yung ayon sa saliksik ng BSP, 82% ng pinapadala ng family members here is meant for basic needs, and that includes education, which is a form of human capital or investment. Definitely, education is prime. Pero you don't do it just every month. Yung iba, bagsakan nilang binibigay yung tuition fee. But yung food, the family member will definitely need that budget for them to buy in the groceries. And that's the reason why in our advocacy, kailangan tinutulungan namin sila. When we sell them the GCs, the digital GCs, we also accompany that with training, telling them what are the difference between yung needs and wants, what is the difference between ano yung branded, ano yung general product only. Sobrang important nito. Kasi doon natututo yung anak, they train their children on what to buy. So we have a lot of OFWs, and in fact, a lot of them are domestic helpers. When they send to their family members in the Visayas region, yung mga children. And it's the children who go to the supermarkets and claim the Beam and Go gift certificate. And it's not just the supermarkets, kasama na rin yung department store items like clothing, all of these things.
Pero yung may limitations din. Kasi
Yes.
sometimes yung groceries, makakabili ka na ng TV. Di ba may mga groceries na gano'n na makakabili ka ng mga damit. So, parang you did mention na tuturuan mo sila kung how to separate needs and wants.
Yes.
And how to differentiate from branded and not branded
Yes.
items. So, mamaya, turuan mo kami. Paano nga ba? Ano ba ang needs and wants? How do we separate that? And then branded, sometimes kasi sabi nila pag branded, mas maganda. So, tell us
Okay.
more about that. Pero bago natin bigyang daan ng iba pa niyong mga tanong, meron po muna tayong trivia. Alam niyo ba na 96.6% o halos lahat ng pamilya na tumatanggap ng remittance mula sa OFW ay inilalaan ang pera sa pagkain at pangangailangan sa bahay. Ito ay batay sa survey ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas nitong 2015 na kinabibilangan ng higit 500 OFW families. 7 sa bawat 10 pamilya naman ang nagsabi na inilalaan nila ang pera sa edukasyon, habang 6 sa bawat 10 ang nagsabi na para ito sa medical expenses. Sa mga tinanong sa survey, 11.5% o 11 sa bawat 100 pamilya ang nagsabi na inilalaan nila ang pera sa pagbili ng bahay. 7.6% naman ang nagsabing napupunta ito sa pambili ng sasakyan o motor vehicles, habang 6% ang itinatabi ito para sa investment. Samantala, mahigit sa 4 sa bawat 10 pamilya naman ang nagsabi na inilalaan nila ang perang padala sa pambayad ng utang. Naku, sana mabawasan na rin yung 7.6%. Oo, so yun yung nabanggit nyo kanina na marami din ay kumbaga inilalaan nila sa pangbayad ng utang because before they left, nagkaroon sila ng utang.
Tsaka proper allocation. 6% lang ang investments but 7% is pambayad ng utang.
Oo,
Mas
parang
malaki.
mas malaki yung sa
Oo.
sa utang. So I guess siguro doon ang umpisa talaga sana ay kumbaga mabawas, pero that's difficult kaya nga siya nag-abroad, 'di ba? Kasi hindi niya na-meet yung pangangailangan. Okay, so all right. So given na yung nabitin lang natin na tanong, needs and wants. I mean, how do you differentiate it?
I think the needs it's very important. Those that you need to live by with life. That includes tuition for education, bilihin sa mga groceries, bills payments, kasama na rin ang gamot for medication if you're helping your mother, lola, or somebody with high blood pressure. That is very important. And you also need to factor in yung other essentials ng family like yung binibili sa mga bookstore ng anak. Kasama na rin po yun. I think all of these are part of the most important basic needs of the family members. You also need to factor in yung, if you're employing someone like a driver, if it's a middle-class family, or if you're employing a helper, these are fixed expenses every month. So, ang important is yung needs, ito muna ang uunahin ninyo. And that is after you pay off your debts. If the
Kung meron
statistics
man.
is showing 7%, malaki yung debts, you have to make sure that every month hindi ka nagmi-miss ng pambayad
Para
ninyo.
matapos na yung
Para
utang.
matapos na. And then, there comes yung wants. Ang mga anak natin minsan gusto nilang pumunta ng isang concert. Important. So, yung iba po, hindi na sila kumakain dahil yung allowance sila, isasantabi nila para lang makanood ng concert. So,
Yeah.
dapat you have to arrest that issue. Pag hindi yan ang important at
Parang
yung
unahin.
kalusugan na ng anak ang na-affect, dapat po
Yeah.
makita ng family yun.
Yeah, ito si 9247, meron na siyang i-share.
Yes.
Malaki ang epekto sa mga bata at pamilya ang paglabas ng magulang sa bansa, pero no choice naman kasi minsan. Oo. So, I guess nag-share lang siya ang ano yung experiences niya na or kapag when the family or when a parent is outside. Much like kung paano nag-cope si Vanessa. Oo. 'Di ba? Ito naman, my son is an OFW in Singapore. O
Wow.
katulad sa'yo, Albert, 5 years si Albert, nag-Singapore siya. He got an insurance. Is it a good decision ba or gastos lang? Salamat po.
I think if you look at insurance, it depends on what insurance this person or the son took when now that he is in Singapore. But definitely, if it's a long-term planning, it would help him in the long run. If it's insurance, if he gets old, then he will have something. But if it's an insurance that is given to a mom or a dad, that is also important because it's an investment of something that may happen in the future. So I'd say that it is a very good decision that the person, your son, bought an insurance. But basta yung basic needs ninyo ay nagagampanan, I think you should be happy with your son dahil nag-i-invest siya.
Forced savings.
Oo.
Oo. Ito naman, si 6971, OFW almost 30 years, pero malaki o maliit man ang ipinapadala sa Pilipinas, laging ubos. So I guess siguro, laging ubos. So whether, yun yung nabanggit mo, whether it's 50 or magkano man per month.
Oo.
So, I guess siguro, ang iyong payo
Tama.
ay para hindi na siya laging ubos. Ano ang iyong maipapayo?
So, yung iba po, 30 plus years, dapat po mas mataas ang kinikita nila. Ngayon, iba, from 50, aakit ng 150,000. Yung habit po is behavior yun. Nakaka-addict minsan yung gastos ka ng gastos na mga hindi kailangan, like gadgets,
Unnecessary.
electronics, malakihang TV. Kung 30 years, hindi siya na-resolve, I think the problem there is really a family matter and the prescription there is really communication. And learning, three things, no? I think it's learning to say no. Number 2 is also don't be a people pleaser. So, pwede kasing kulit ng kulit yung anak na yan po, bilhin natin. Yung dad naman nakasanayan na. And you have to embrace change. And embracing change is making that hard decision to say no, even though medyo merong matatamaan.
Alright.
Okay?
Naku, thank you so much for giving us your tips and sharing your stories. At marami dito nagtatanong kung how they can contact you so that they could know more about your services. Ibabanggit na lang natin yung mga contact details po ni Albert at ni Vanessa ng Beam & Go. Maraming salamat, Mr. Albert Christian Go, Senior Vice President, at Vanessa Cartera, Director of Merchants mula sa Beam & Go. At kung kayo po ay may tanong po sa kanilang products or you want to know more about financial literacy and their services, yung tools na ituturo nila, ibibigay nila sa inyo para to help you as an OFW, you can contact Beam & Go Philippines Incorporated. Sila po, ang opisina po nila ay matatagpuan sa Executive Building Center Inc., Senator Hill Puyat Avenue, Makati City. Pero ito po ang kanilang mobile numbers. You can call them or text them at 0949-839-3322 at 0995-321-7377. Pwede din kayong mag-email sa kanila sa customerservice@beamandgo.com or check out their website to know more about them sa www.beamandgo.com or check out their Facebook page, Beam & Go.